crisis. This program enabled training over 17,000 individuals across the country in the height of pandemic. Our speaker is the lead for startup ecosystem development of Upgrade InnoLove Incorporated, and concurrently the deputy focal of the ICT Industry Development Bureau for DICT Region 10. Help me welcome. No, the person that I am referring is no other than Miss Keren Lacadin. Ma'am, the virtual floor is all yours.
Thank you, Sir Jerby. Mayong hapon sa tanan. Madungog ba ko? Please give me a thumbs up if madungog ako ninyo. Okay. It's 1:30 and I know it's holy hour. So, holy hour karon, daghan gidok ka, tapos virtual lang session. So, we'll see. I hope you stay with me in the next couple of minutes. Let me start sharing my screen. Okay, so today I am tasked and I am very grateful to be part of this lecture series. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's an honor to be invited to share with you about value proposition. But first, I'd like to know, let me just switch my view here so I can see all of you. Let me just adjust my screen. Okay. Kinsa may nakaila na og startup dire? If kaila na mo og unsay startup, do the heart reaction emoji on Zoom. If kaila na mo og unsa ng startup. If wala mo kaila og startup, please do the thumbs down sa Zoom emoji. Ay mo kahadlo kay dili pa man ni graduhan ni sir. Dili pa graduhan ni sir kung mayngon mo wala mo kaila og startup. So I'd like to understand the audience better, no? Okay, I'm seeing thumbs down. All right. Ang uban, natulog na ba? Nakatulog na ba? All right. So I'd rather not proceed if I don't see reactions, if I don't see that you guys are listening. So let's make this worthwhile. I know it's challenging kaya ang uban kay syempre no, hinay siguro ang connection and everything, but I hope that you stay with me in the next few minutes, siguro mga 1 hour or kapin. So I'm seeing thumbs down, understanding that you don't understand what startups are. There are a lot of startups in CDO. So who is familiar with Grab or Angkas? Kindly give me the thumbs up button if you are familiar with Grab or Angkas. If you have used Food Panda, Shopee, Lazada. So those are the bigger ones. Okay, so startups. No.
Okay na di ba?
Sorry, what's that? Okay. So it's really challenging when we do virtual sessions, but then again, I'd like to be able to impart some information to you at least today. So the topic is on value proposition. Okay, and as what our kind host earlier mentioned, my experience includes BPO, NGO, and the government. So one of my passion really is to advocate for countryside development. Kay, as you can see in the photo, I'm from Bukidnon, loud and proud, taga Bukid. So these are our topics this afternoon. No, we will understand what is value proposition, and for some, it is going to be easier for those who understand at least a little bit about what is startups. No, so essentially, in Techstars, because I'm also a Techstars Startup Weekend organizer and certified facilitator, in Techstars we identify startups as business solutions to societal problems. For example, traffic, no? Traffic in your area, how do you resolve the traffic in your area? And then even with disaster resilience, so that's also one of the things, no? How can we resolve kanang mga problema nato sa ato ang palibot using a business, no? So kanang nagsakay og jeep, amping intawon mo, kanang nagabiyahe pa, murag napoy nagbiyahe, no? So, salute to you guys that even with the challenges that you are facing in connectivity and everything, that you're still trying to pay attention and attend to this session. Okay, so going back to what I was saying, just a little bit of intro on what are startups so that we are in the same page on what we were gonna discuss today. So included in the topic today that we'll be discussing is unsa man ang value proposition, and then unsaon pag-identify sa value proposition. And then napod tay topic kung unsaon pag-create, no, ang value proposition. And then napoy mga statements and templates. And finally, I will share with you some support that is DICT is doing for startups. So kaniadtong panahon, natay business idea, and even nowadays, no, kung natay business idea and student, no, studenta, natay nahon-ahonan ato ang thesis, ato ang capstone, mo na nato na nindot siguro ni siya i-implement, pero dili gid ta makumbinsi ba na i-implement siya kay ngano. Number one, ato ra manghihimo ng capstone o ato ang kanang thesis for compliance. That's the only thing that matters. We want to finish school, no? So that's the only goal that we have, no? That a lot of students will probably have. Kay that's muna ang ato ang gusto is solve right there and then. Mo graduate. So that's why we comply with the capstone and the thesis. But nowadays, no, thankfully, we have several government support to encourage, especially the youth, to really work on those capstone, those ideas. Kay we have kanang great belief that the youth, no, kamo namoy mga nindot kaayo nga mga ideas that if we could support those ideas, ato siyang ma-implement to resolve societal problems. So for example, in the school, so it's a business idea. So it's a business idea na mo scale siya, nasa possibility to scale. Tapos it came from just your thesis or your capstone. So again, your thesis and your capstone, those has possibilities na pwede niyo himuong actual business. Okay, so on the get-go, I'd like you to think about something in school, no, problem niyo sa school, like inyong schedule, ang pag-submit sa inyong assignment. So just focus on that thought sa karon, no. How do you resolve or how do you properly schedule your different kanang units, no? Daghang kay mong units and subjects nga ginadala for the semester. How do you resolve that? Because that will be where our example later dito siya mo kanang focus. Okay? So unsa man ang value proposition? So syempre nagahisgot na kano na ang startup mo na siya negosyo ba kibali, no? Nga makasulbad na ka sa mga problema sa palibot, mukita pa jud ka. So unsaon man nimo na siya paghimo nga mukita ka tapos makasulbad ka og problema sa imong palibot. Dapat na ay value ang imong startup. So example nato ang kuan ka ganina, state ka ganina, what if there is a startup na makatabang sa inyo mga students? I'd like some technical assistance please in muting other participants kay para kanang clear lang atong or I would like to request to be added as co-host na lang sa session so I can help with the tech. Hello? Murag na pa'y nagbiyahe, nagsakay og rila. Please add me as co-host so that I can also help. Am I a co-host already? Ayon. Thank you very much. Okay, sorry. Sorry, I have to put you on mute, Ruth, so that the others can hear me properly. Okay, So again, salute to those who are traveling, you know, and still trying to attend the session. Okay, anyway, so going back. So for your startup to scale up, number one requirement there is it has to have a value. And Techstars and Founder Institute, we have this mantra of give first. No, so we provide value first. So I'd like to talk about Techstars for a little. No, it's founded in Boulder, Colorado. So Techstars is a venture capital company. So man mo daghan na kaayo buzzwords, no, startup, venture capital, value proposition, and so venture capital companies, these are companies nga ang ilahang bitang main business model is to invest in startups, in starting companies, no? And they provide value first. One of the value that provide ni Techstars is doing startup weekend. Speaking of startup weekend, we'll have one in CDO next week. So startup weekends, it's 54 hours. We let the participants think of a business idea. They're all strangers, and then they come up with a business idea in 54 hours, after which they will pitch that to possible investors, enablers, and other community partners. So again, with that, kailangan gyud nga ang ato ang bisan sa thesis or sa capstone, diba? Di man malipay si sir o si ma'am nga ang ato ang thesis capstone kay murag putyo-putyo lang. So dapat nagit tayo gina-identify na value sa ato ang ginabuhat. Like unsa man imong ika-offer, unsa man imong ambag sa kalibutan, sa challenges sa kalibutan. So value proposition is the value that you promise to deliver your customers post-purchase. So unsa man ang imong ika-offer sa ila kung mobayad sila, no? Now if we say startups are business ideas that solve societal problems, that has a possibility to scale. How does it scale? So dapat dili siya like I'd like to help ana-ana lang, no? You should also have equity, and you also would need to have income from that startup para sustainable siya. So dili pwede nga ang startup nimo is puro lang pagawas og money, dapat naapoy nagasulod. So much for that. Again, value proposition is the value that you promise to give your customers post-purchase. Okay. So natay tulo ka criteria sa value proposition, no? Dapat specific siya. Unsa man ang benefits nga makuha sa imong target customers with your value proposition. Second is that it should be pain-focused. Unsa may pain sa imuhang customer, unsa may ilang problema sa ilang matag-adlaw nga panginabuhi to improve their life nga imuhang isolve. Okay? Next, it should be exclusive. It should be something that is unique, no? How is it both desirable and exclusive to you? Like ikaw ra ang maka-offer ana nga solution for your customers. How well does it highlight your competitive advantage and set you apart from others, no? So dapat it's something na maka-entice gyud sa imuhang target market. Dili lang kay mo-like sila sa imuhang page or mo-like sila sa imuhang product, but they should also be advocates of your product, no? They should also purchase. Kay lahi man ang, oy, I admire this brand, I admire this company, but then they really don't purchase from you. So lahi man na sila. Tapos, ato apong i-discuss kung what value proposition is not. Unsa man ang dili na siya value proposition. So na difference ha. So first of all, dili na siya kanang murag catchphrase lang nimo. Like sa imuhang initial idea kay this is the Grab for students, no? Grab for assignments or unsa pa kaha na imong idea. So balik ta sa to ang example kagayina, what if there is an app that helps you schedule your assignment submissions, that helps you manage your multiple subjects in one semester. So it's not just the slogan of that startup that is not a value proposition. It is not also the description of your startup. Okay, description is just it just a description, no? So dili na siya value proposition. It is not information pod about your startup. So those are not value proposition. Dili siya slogan, dili siya description, dili po siya information about your startup. It's really something that you can offer to your customers pag human nila og palit or post-purchase. So natay ginatawag na value proposition spectrum. So for example, nakay central na value proposition mo na ang pinaka-differentiator gid nimo. It is an app that helps students manage their kanang schedules ana bale. So tapos natin kay mga question nga kay mga potential ana dara na potential kanang customer personas, and we will talk about customer personas a little bit later. No, so sa different products nimo, different offerings nimo sa imong startup. So naka central value proposition. So ngano man mo palit man sila sa imuha, ngano mo subscribe man sila sa imuha, no? Dayon ngano man ang imong prospect mas mo palit sa imuha kaysa sa imong competitors, 'di ba? Tapos next kay ngano man mo palit sila anang specific na service nimo rather than any of your service. So lahi siya nakuan sa spectrum, no? And then next question is, why should your prospect click that particular or like subscribe to that particular offering of yours than the other offering that you already have that you can offer? So that's called the value proposition spectrum. It's like a deep dive now on your value proposition, that you can use this later on, no, as you identify the value proposition of your startup. So next, some value, no? So as we have discussed earlier, it should improve the current process that is currently being done. And we'll talk about because naman guni siya canvas that you can use, no? Na po yung mga examples para unsaon mo siya pag-identify. So it should improve the current process. Dili siya ingon nga redundant lang sa other product kay ang innovation magod. When you talk about innovation, dili siya nagpasabot nga kung kinsa lang tong nakauna og identify na, for example, delivery app, di ba? So natay food panda, Grab, and then other delivery apps, no? So as you can see, ang katong startup na mo emerge lang gid sa market is katong mas gwapo og service. So they offer better value than the current startups and how things are currently being done by subscribers. So it should offer to save time, it should offer to save money, and also help make money as well. And it should also provide more valuable information. It's essentially making someone's day easier, no? So sa framework, sa value proposition, murag yapon siya o kanang sa design thinking, bitaw na iterative siya. So first, kailangan i-identify nimo kinsa man imo ang mga target market. Are these all students, or ang imo bang target are faculty, or unsa ba nga kanang demographic ang imuhang target sa imuhang target nimo na market? Are these all females, kids, inana? Tapos value dayon, benefits minus cost as perceived by the customer. It should also have the offerings and sa may nakanindot sa may mong gina-offer. Benefits po dayon, how your offer delivers clear customer value. What is your differentiation, no? Why are you better than your competitors? And then proof, substantiated credibility and believability of your offering. And then, mura siya iterative, no? So mag-center na siya sa imuhang value proposition. So, murag ko na daghan nagigaayo og buzzwords, no? So, natay ginatawag na value proposition canvas versus your customer segment. So, I was informed that you haven't talked about the business model canvas yet. But it's okay. These are resources that you can easily find online. So, daghan kaayo ni siya online, no? The BMC na template sa business model canvas that is easily downloadable online. So, ang value proposition at customer segment, these are parts of the business model canvas. So, as you can see here na, products and services, and same products and services, gain creators, pain relievers, versus your gains, pains, and customer job sa imuhang customer segment. We'll talk about more of this canvas later on. So, next part But before I proceed to the next part, I noticed that there are 199 audience in Zoom. So mura nakurutan ko, daghan-daghan man data. If you can hear me and if you're following me, please type 1 on the chat just so I can identify who are listening, kinsa pay naa. Ayan. Okay. Na. Uptick man day kayo na imong mga students, sir. All right. Thank you. Thank you for staying with me. So next topic is kanang the value proposition identification. So unsa man nimo paghimo sa imong value proposition? Okay? So dapat kay balo ka kung para kang kinsa. Mura bitaw na siya og bago nimo mo-offer ang imong gugma, char, kani kay ganahan man kay mas estudyante ba sa kaning topic. Bago nimo ma-offer ang imong gugma sa usa ka tao, dapat kay balo nakadaan kung unsay imong ideal na tao. So muna siya imong target segment. So mahilig ba ka o mga tall, dark and handsome, mga ingana. So dapat kay balo nakadaan kung unsay imong target segment, kay kung mapataka ra kag toplok, mapataka ra kag sulod og relationship, di gina siya magkadimao. Kay later on, you will also realize na uy, di man din ako di siya bet. So ana, just like in relation, I think in discussing the value proposition, it's really the relationship that I can compare as a closest example, because that's how you do man good with your customers, with your startups. You build relationship with your startups. And in identifying kung unsa imong mo offer, mo nang nagaingon ta na you should, love yourself first before you can essentially offer love to someone else. No, na life ko naman noon ni na life coaching naman noon ni nga lecture series naman ang ni. So anyways, so dapat kibalo ka sa imong target segment, no? So these are the customers and people who will buy from you. Next is dapat kabalo ka syempre og unsay problema nga unsay lang gina problema mo na imong sulbaron. So because you are already confident with yourself that you have value to offer, you then identify as well what are the problems that you're trying to solve. Next, it's not next, but these are all kanang equally important in creating the value proposition. Dapat kebalo ka kung asa tama ni mong scope. Kay mo ni tendency sa mga startups pod na syempre mag-iterate man gid mag-change man gid no, every now and then magusto kita mag-innovate labi na gud ning mga IT students. No, ganahan gid din kita mo. Ganahan jud kita mo especially kanang sa process flow god, no, kanang the uniqueness of the process flow, like nag-work ako ang code, testingan daw ko na ko ni siya og being lahi nga pagpaagi, lahi nga paagi nga kuan. So kana dungagan nimo features ang imuhang kanang app or ang imuhang idea, mag-offer na pud kag lahi without mastering the current offerings that you have. So muna siya medyo dapat kibalo ka og asa lang taman ang imuhang scope. No, because it will lead to tendencies ba na daghan naman kani siya gusto buhaton magiyahan naman lang tanan. So inana, and then of course solution, no, the offering na imuhang identified as your value proposition, and also the benefits that people can expect. So who's familiar with what we call in Japanese kanang ikigai? So do the thumbs up if you understand what ikigai is. Wala. Okay. Google ninyo na onya unsa nang ikigai ha. So, muna siya center bitaw ho. If you have identified your purpose, and it's something that kanang maka-earn sad ka, and it is something that is valuable, no, to you as a person. So ang mix ana tanan, that's your ikigai, that's your murag kanang main gid nimo ba, if when you find your ikigai, it's really fulfilling. So in value proposition mura po na siya ingana. So ang ikigai is like this graph, no, so tulo siya ka factors, and then what is in the middle nga mag-intertwine na sila, that is your ikigai. So in value proposition, these are some of the steps in creating a winning value proposition, no. So dapat nag-intertwine dira ang unsa imong gina-offer, and then unsay needs sa imong customer, o kanang unsa poy needed sa unsa po'y naa available sa marketplace na kaya nimo i-improve, no? So next up, 4 steps in creating a winning value proposition, as what I have mentioned earlier. Understand your customers, research your audience. Unsa man ilahang problema. So kana imong i-try og solve unsa man ilahang problema. First is to understand your audience, and then unsa pud ang ilahang motivation. So dira pod nimo ma-shape balik kung unsaon nimo pag-approach sa ilaha, unsaon nimo pag-sell sa imuhang product. Kay balo naman ka kung unsa ilahang needs, no? Unsa ilahang pains nga kaya nimo i-solve. And then validate, no? So dili siya pwede nga magtag-an-tag-an lang. So dapat the way it should be kanang well-researched yun ang imuhang pag-try o understand sa imuhang kanang audience. Unsa man ilahang day-to-day, unsa man ilahang biggest problem, and then how do they talk about these problems, unsa ilang language. So if you're familiar with angkas, 'di ba? So angkas is for the masa. So the way they communicate with their audience is different versus, say for example, kanang Uber, no? So lahi ang approach ni Uber or ni Grab. So lahi ang ilahang approach sa ilahang customer segments, how they communicate with their customers, no? Si angkas is kay murag imuhang barkada nga memer, no? Pabibo kayo si angkas because that's their target audience, no? Masa ang ilang target audience. Compare nimo siya kay Grab, kay medyo lahi po ang ilahang target audience. So Grab even tried to copy somehow, not the brand itself, but maybe their social media team tried to murag emulate what angkas is doing, but it's different because lahi man gud ang ilahang market segment. So next is so mo to siya, no? Language is very important, how you communicate with this. So you should also have to create an ideal buyer persona. So pag humani mo research sa imong audience, dapat na kay qualitative data. Tapos lahi-lahi you have to create different customer personas. So mura kag mag-create og character ba na o kani si Amy, for example. Amy is a student, kuan siya kanang nasay 28 units this semester, and then she is commuting every day to, let's say if you're from USTP, let's say to Villanueva, no? And her course is only offered in the main campus of USTP. So wala siya sa Villanueva campus because Villanueva campus is also new. Ana, so dapat na kay, and so that's Amy, that's your customer persona 1. Your customer persona 2 is, let's say, Brad. Si Brad is nagapuyo sa gusa, medyo duol ra, and then si Brad kay kanang working student, so he works at Limket kay at some kanang hours of the day. And then so that's your another customer persona, but still part of your target market, no? And then these are some of the questions that you would like to ask. So unsa may common pain point ni Amy ug ni Brad? So si Amy naga-commute every day. Si Brad is from Cagayan de Oro City lang, but working student siya. So limited gihapon ng ihang time. How are they going to be able to kanang submit their requirements on time? And so that's their common pain point. Pero lahi-lahi silang persona. Then napod siguro kay, let's say, customer persona number 3. So si customer persona number 3 is your elite alta student nga pag pa-enroll pa lang gibayaran na ang tibuok kuan, tibuok semester, taman 4th year, bisag di pa sure kung mapasar siya sa iyang subject sa iyang 2nd year. So that's also part of your customer persona nga or customer segment, no? Pero lahi siya og needs, lahi siya og pains, lahi siya og solution nga mo offer sa iyaha. So is there a certain industry that a lot of people are in, no? So unsa man ilahang common nila, so lahi na persona pero nasa like common pain points. Kung existing na pud ang imong startups, unsa may benefit nga ilahang balik-balik nga gina-avail sa imong service na gina-offer. Okay? Step number 3, dapat kay balusad ka kung kinsa imong competitors, no? Sama ra gud pud na sa mga lalaki nga manligaw o napabay ligaw-ligaw uso karon. Uso pa ba nang manligaw karon? Dapat kay balo ka og kinsa imong kompetisyon kay para makahibalo ko ka kung unsa imong sa imong improve, no? So it's not necessarily understanding your kanang competitors to bring them down, but to also understand what are they offering, and how they offer their services, no? What are the difference in what you offer sa ilahang offering, no? To improve it. The idea is to offer a better service than your competitors. Because if you just make awat everything, if you just copy everything that your competitor does, so what does that make you? Diba? So, wala lang. You're just a repetition to what is already existing. There's nothing unique about you. So that's why you have to understand your competitors to help you innovate. Okay? Tapos, next, determine the primary benefit of your products. Okay, balo na ka sa imong buyer persona, imong target market. It's time to determine your primary benefit. What makes you better? While there may be multiple reasons to use your product, there's often one thing that your audience is most interested in. Nagig kay murag kanang kanang factor, yung mga differentiator, no? Kay kung wala kay differentiator, ang imong business idea again, it's just a repetition. So, if you don't have a value to offer your customers, then it's not gonna work. Okay? So, para ma-identify nimo, these are the components of a strong value differentiation. So, like this, lahi nga perception. So, nakay duha ka main characters in this. The seller's value proposition and the customer's value perception. So, sometimes, ang seller, maingon ka, ikaw na maligya ka gyema, no? Experience ko maligya ko gyema. Imong classmate pwede na maligya o gyema. So pareha mo nagabaligya og yama. And then so what is the value proposition? So may difference sa imong yama o sa iyahang yama, no? So namo sa usa ka classroom there are 50 students in one classroom. Ang imong lingkuranan kay naa sa pinakalikod. Ang imong classmate nga na maligya pod og yama tapos siya sa atubangan pod ng pinakalikod. So lahi og perception ang customer kaysa sa seller kay syempre ikaw ingon ka nga mas lami gid ang imong yama kaysa yama sa imong classmate kay imo hagod ang baligya, di ba? Pero ang imong customer lahi-lahi na sila perception sa value. Okay, for example, katong imong classmate nga pinakaduol sa imong classmate nga maligya pug yama, ngano man siya moadto pa sa imo sa likod sa classroom. Unless na lang kung naka-crush nimo sa imo gid siya mobalit og yama, no? So mas duol sa iya ang katong usa ka seller. So that makes them want to buy, no? Possibly want to buy to your classmate who is selling the same product because it's nearer, no? Versus ang imuhang tapad, tingala ka man imong tapad, imbis tapad mo bangko, di man gid siya mo palit sa imong yama, dito man gid siya sa imong sa ka-classmate mo palit og yama, diba? Nabot ng tagyama niya, excited up man tang isgutan. Pero bitaw, this is just to help you understand that lahi og perception ng imong customer sa value, no? You can always say, ako ang product, ako ang service ang pinaka-barato, pinaka-affordable, pinaka-gwapo. Pero you should always understand kung unsay perception pod sa imong customer. That's why validation is very important. Kaya again, dili pwede na magtagna-tagna ta. So dapat valuable siya unsa may want and need ni customer, differentiated, so may difference niya, substantiated. Unya, di po siya pwede na ikaw ra po yung maingon nga, ako ang may pinaka-valuable. Dapat i-validate ni mo ni sa imong possible customers. No? So it's a multitude of things, no, in doing and identifying your value proposition. It doesn't happen overnight, no? It needs thorough research, and it also needs proper validation, because in identifying your value proposition, dili pwede nga one-sided lang, no? Mura siya gugma, dili pwede na one-sided lang kaya sa may tabo sa isa, di ba? Di ba? So dapat imong gisabot, imong gi-identify kung unsay imong value proposition, imo pong gisabot kung unsay value perception sa imong customer. Dapat imo na siyang i-validate. Okay? So here are some value proposition templates that I can share with your professor, no? So dapat nag-resonate siya sa imong customer. So needs, what they want and what they need, is it the best option? And then substantiated ba siya, trusted and believed, no? So these are possible, this would possibly lead to kanang lead generation success. So lead generation is essentially getting data, no? And probably new client. So this is just one example. Dapat mo kuan siya anina kanang graph. So mo ingon ang buyers, dapat imo siyang ikuan kung unsa man tong mga different values nimo and then unsay response ni customer. So dili niya need ang kana nga service. So for example, balikan na to ang tulo ka customer persona, no? Si Amy, si Brad, og nakalimot ko sa pangalan atong Alta Elite nga kuan nga student nga gibayaran na ang tibuok upat ka tuig. So kana siya. So probably kaning potential buyer o kaning potential end user sa imong startup nga ginabuhat nga mutabang for students sa ilahang scheduling and submission of assignments and reporting sa ilahang mga subjects na isa ka persona customer segment ana nga dili niya need kay naman siya daghang time ana. So another template is kini siya, what identification. So i-list down nimo kung unsa imong mga products and services, unsa iyang function, unsa iyang technical value, business value and personal value. So in function, unsa man ang ginabuhat sa imong product. So it's very straightforward. So technical value, in the technical perspective, unsa iyang mo-offer sa business value, how it will help from the business perspective, and the personal value, unsay how it will help from the business perspective as well. So this is for you. No? And then we also have what we call the 10-point value proposition. So how will we substantiate our ability to deliver the resulting customer experience measurable and specifically? So imo siyang i-identify. So 10 ni siya ka key points. Overall, what time frame? So time frame is like for example, in a website, if you're gonna sign up to a specific service or sign up to or subscribe to a service, how many clicks does a customer have to do before they get to the end point? No, because it matters. No, kung unsa kadali ang mag-sign up sa imong app, how or sa imong service, no? How will the value proposition be communicated internally and externally? So internal understanding of the value proposition is also very important because it's difficult to communicate it elsewhere. If your team internally doesn't understand what it is, how will the value proposition be operationalized throughout the business? So it's not kind of something that you just offer. It is something that should be used by your own team. So sa internal pa lang ninyo, dapat kebalo o kasabot mo and ginagamit ninyo and gina-live by ninyo kung sa manggali na ang value proposition ninyo. How will we measure and monitor the effectiveness of the proposition in our business? So dapat measurable siya. Next kay, syempre imong intended customers. How will the customers experience be of the offering and the company, and what price will they pay? So how much are they willing to pay? No? What are the offerings that you can create to deliver the experience to the customers? What purchase or usage of offering do you offer from the customers? What benefits will the customers drive from the experience and at what cost? What competing alternatives do the customers have? How are you different? So these are the 10-point value proposition that you can answer. No? So we also have the customer value map. No? So matrix, yeah, this is relevant pag you identify your competitors. So in a matrix, as you can see on the screen, the fair value line, and the excellent value. So asa man na, it will help you identify kung asa ana imong kaya apson, asa ana imong kaya i-offer. So relative price versus market perceived price, no? So there is what we call there the fair value line. And next to that is also kanang for the customer value map. So the relative price, mo siya i-compare versus the value that you can offer, because whatever value it is that you offer, but there is a corresponding cost for that. Okay? Tapos, We also use that to identify your competitive positioning map. So identify your your 4-point value, no? Value A, B, C, D. And then asa dira si competitor 1. So that's why it's very important to understand who your possible competitors are. Like, this is very important as well when you pitch, even in the 54-hour events that we handle, no, in hackathons as well. Importante that you have already done research about your competitors, kay things are very, very fast-paced nowadays. Technology is very fast-paced. And then if you do not identify if nabay existing na the same o gina-offer sa imong nahuna-hunaan, so makes you weak, no? So you should understand and you should identify your competitors. Okay. So in the prioritization map, no, so imo na siyang i-identify, and we will talk about more of this later, no. Daghan man jud daghang kang offer, identify na nimo yung different value propositions na mo-offer nimo. Imo siyang i-identify dayon kung asa dira ang high, asa dira ang low, kay para ma-arrange nimo siya sa matrix, i-prioritize nimo ang katong pinaka-importante. So these graphs are just kanang examples that you can use, no? And then, so in the value proposition, you have to create a message flow. So dapat the way you communicate it, okay, mo na yung na-observe po sa kanang uban startup founders, no? So ang uban startup founders, they're too focused on lagi gwapo lagi ang ilahang product for them. So gwapo ang ilang product for them, and even me, I could identify na gwapo bitaw ang ilahang product, pero they do not know how to communicate it, especially now that there are different even in LGUs, no? So even in LGUs na sila mandate to adopt innovation. Okay, sa ilahang competitiveness index, appeal na ang innovation. So that means that more LGUs are going to engage with startups. But a lot of startups don't know how to communicate with government agencies, with LGUs. And I also understand their frustration because it's really frustrating. Okay? It's so hard to explain something to a person who are not, and dili maka-gets ba kung unsay gina-offer na value, but sometimes naka-embed lang diha ang how they communicate, no? How is it beneficial for their targeted market? So especially in the countryside areas, mayon ka okay na kay app na gina-offer that can be used by the LGUs to gather data and so on. And then mayon si LGU, mobalibad si LGU diretso because wala sila infrastructure, no? Wala magalit ni internet, may signal dire sa among phone, magkuan na. So this is very common, especially here in Bukidnon. So maybe it's the messaging, because and of course, obviously, without infra, it's very hard to implement. But the thing is, without infra, and if the LG would focus solely on infra, no, kay dapat parallel magud siya ang services agang infra. Kay kinsa may mogamit sa imong infra og wala kagwanta mga tao ng lakaw na, 'di ba? So kinsa may mogamit sa imong infra if it's already outdated. So so that's why it should go parallel. That's why in startups dapat parallel pod ang iyahang kanang approach ana, and they should be able to create a message flow focusing on the drives, the goals, problems, value, and proof. And then the how, no? How does it solve the problem? What is the unique selling proposition or the USP? And then why are you better than your competitors? No? Questions and objections, this should be something that should be noted, kay para ma-improve nimo pod siya kung unsa magaling ang imuhang claims, no? And then your response to the questions and objections, bingin sila na wala magaling ni infra, unsa man na muna. So what are your possible solutions? So you should be ready for that. no? Or if you have identified that gid pwede ang imuhang startup idea sa lugar nga walay infra, then focus your energy into customer segments who are ready for your business idea or your startup. Okay, so now the fun part is here, the value proposition canvas. I'd like to check, please type 87 on the chat if you can still hear me. And if you're still with me, please type 87 on the chat. I minom sa tubig. Okay, I see that there are a lot of people still listening. So thank you so much for staying with me. Going back to the discussion. So I'm halfway through my slides, mga kuan man siya, 150 slides. Joke lang. 60 slides lang pa for today's video. So I'm halfway. This is slide 30. Okay. If you feel like you need to ask a question throughout the course of the discussion, salamat ha. Wala ako nag-cute, but thank you for saying that. Charing. Kung makita ko nimo sa personal, dili na ka makaingon og kuan, cute. Di ba, sir? Okay, so going back to the discussion, if at any time during the discussion, you feel like you want to ask a question, feel free to type it in on the chat and then we can go through it later. No, and then also I will share a PDF version of the file so that you can work on this. No, you can work on the templates. And yeah, I will share a PDF version of the file para pwede niyo siya mahimong reference pa dayon. Okay, so going back to the discussion. So this is the value proposition canvas. So as you can see here, no, kaning sa mga square dere, kaning each gray part, these are part of the business model canvas. So just like what I have mentioned earlier, kaning value proposition canvas, these are two parts of your BMC, your business model canvas, that you use para mahimo nimo ang imuhang value proposition, para ma-identify nimo ang imuhang value proposition. Okay, so this is your value propositions and your customer segment. So this is when you deep dive into these two parts of the business model canvas. Okay, so sa imuhang value proposition canvas, again, these are the, no, so gihimo siyang kanang graph, no, in a graph view para maimo siyang kay naman ni sila relationship si ang imuhang product o ang imuhang customers, no, so imuhang customer segments o ang imuhang value proposition or imong value map. So we have what we call your customer profile. So kanang gains, ng gain creators, no, describe how your products and services create customer gains. So essentially, unsa man ang iyahang ma-benefit, no, ma-benefit sa imuhang services. And then the pains, ang ilahang day-to-day negative experiences, emotions, and risks that they experience in the process of getting the job done. So these are kanang sa customer jobs and sa may nilang day-to-day life that you are trying to solve. And then when we say customer jobs, these are functional, social, and emotional tasks that the customers are trying to perform. So in our earlier example, students, no, trying to balance their working students. So they're trying to balance their heavy load for the semester and their job and life, of course. No? And then, ang customer profile, mag-create pod ka for each customer segment. So, dapat each customer segment nimo na siya distinct jobs to be done, pains and gains. So, probably in your journey in creating your value proposition canvas, you will do several. So it doesn't necessarily mean dili ko naglibog sa una, no, in the discussion sa value proposition kay ginatry na ako na isa lang gid siya ka graph kay para minimalist. Tas ma-filter siya tanan. So different customer segment, no, different product pod ang mo fit sa iya because it's it's a little complicated na startup. So it's customer facing and it's also kanang mura siya na siya pagka B2B, no, business to business, na po siya B2C. So medyo complicated ang iyahang gusto buhaton. So that's why dapat lahi ang imuhang map for your different segments sa imuhang customer. So sa imuhang value map, dapat nakabutang dala ang imuhang gain creators, how the product or services creates customer gains, and how it offers added value to the customer. So you also have your pain relievers, a description of exactly how the product or the service alleviate customer pain. So ma-identify na dayon nimo na nasa relationship dito sa imuhang customer, no? And then products and services. So the products and services which create gain and relieve the pain. So muna siya dayon ang mag-underpin sa creation of the value for the customer. So asa man dira ang problem solution fit. Once nga ma-meet na nimo ng duha, diha dayon mo gawas ang imuhang problem solution fit. So diri naga-fail ang kasagaran na startup. Kay okay, daghan kay sila gusto i-offer na services pero dili siya beneficial for their customer. Now, so that's the problem solution fit. Diha nimo ma-identify dayon ang imuhang value proposition pod if you have identified all of these factors sa imuhang startup. So benefits, experience, and features in your product, no? So this is the value proposition flowchart that you can also use. Essentially, the benefits is what your product does. Features, how it works, no? So these are some of the questions that you can answer. And for the experience, where does it feel like to use your product? Asa man na part sa ilahang life nila gamiton ng imong product. So for the customer side of things, what are the emotional drivers of these drivers? So unsa man ilahang gaka-feel na emotion, no? Para mo drive sa ilaha na mo gamit sa imong startup or mo subscribe, no? Or ilang day-to-day na kanang problem nga gina-try of og solve, no? So fears, risk of switching to your product. So isa pod ni siya na dapat nimo ma-identify how things are currently being done. So kamo students, how do you manage your time? Do you use Google Calendar or nag-wallpaper na ba ninyo ang inyong schedule? Pati dito kanang unsa siya nga building, unsa siya nga classroom, and then for the needs, what are the hidden needs, no? You have to identify that. What are the rational drivers of purchasing? So unsa man nga mga sa ilahang pains, no, sa ilahang everyday job nga gusto nila i-resolve every day or gusto nila ma-achieve every day. So asa man dito dapit nga ma-convince sila to make a purchase. Okay? So this is the value proposition canvas, connecting between your customers and your product. So again, product and services, and then sa ibaba makita nimo dira ang gain creators, pain relievers, and then sa imong customers, more imo siyang i-combine, no? So sa gain, sa imong customers, as what I have mentioned kaganina, you have to understand your customer and then identify pod, no, unsa ang imuhang products nga mo-offer sa ilaha, and vice versa. Okay, so ato siyang isa-isahon. Okay. So looking back, if you remember the example that I mentioned earlier, what if there's an app that helps you manage your schedules better, submit your requirements better? Is there a way for you to be notified about unsay pinaka-urgent nimo na assignment nga i-submit, no? Kay kinsa na maestro nimo i-submit. So in this example, let's say natay startup nga ginabuhat and it is for students and it helps students manage their time better. So app siya Mag-register lang ka. Pag humani mag-enroll, narito ang imuhang, I don't know if this is already existing in USTP now, kaya I went to college a long time ago. So, I don't know the process that you have nowadays. No? So in the product and services, these are list of products and services that your value proposition is built around. So, muna mo ang na-identify. No? So, imo siyang ilista on the side. Imo siyang ilista. And then, imo ang i-identify kung asa dito ang essential o asa dito ang nice to have lang. So, in this example, we have centralized student information. So, narito yung muhang ID number, imong whatever, unsa na ka na year, unsa imuhang mga subjects na na-load sa imuha this semester, unsa imuhang progress report for each course, no, for each subject na dito na graph makita nimo ka nice, no. How are you coping up, no, with the grades, like sa midterm makita nimo nga oy murag kuan din na subject da, murag kailangan ko mo allocate og more time sa akong major kay murag stress man ni nag-alibangbang man ni. So, okay na ng stress kay di man nato sa na sobra. Joke lang bitaw. Pero kanang makita nimo kung unsa to mga subjects na medyo nag-lag behind ka, and then you can allocate more time. So it helps you decide which courses to focus on. Kay ang uban kay okay ra man ang grado, ang uban kay murag padulong na gid siya mo INC. So ana, no, what if there's an app that does that? So muna ang isa sa imong product and services sa imong app, no, muna siya example. So sa iyahang products and services relevance na po kadihay peer-to-peer interaction. So nay chat group di na ka magbuang o pangita sa Facebook kung ahatong GC ninyo sa kaninga subject, sa kaninga professor, no? So di na ka maglibog kung asa na GC because na naka-integrate na siya dito, no? How amazing is that? Murag nindot lagi na buhaton. Napagid siya assignment alerts and submission. So you will be notified in your mobile phone nga, uy, 48 hours to go before your assignment to Professor Pascua is due. Ana, hatag ba si sir of 48 hours? Char. Okay, so what if there's an app with all those features that gives you alerts on what are the assignments that are due soonest? Tapos integrated pag sa imong calendar, no? So how amazing is that? So you have to identify the products and services relevance, and then imuha din siyang kanang identify kung asa dito ang feature nga pinaka-essential o asa dito ang feature nga brag, okay, this is nice to have but not really quite necessary. Next is your gain creators. So describe how your products and services create customer gains. No? So how does it benefit them? So example, ensures information is up to date. Di ka maglibog nga, manamang dili redundant ang information. And then also there's a professor to student communication, no, in the app. And then it also saves time, and then it is a central platform for assignment. So these are the gain creators relevance. Again, once you identify this, imuha dayong i-identify po kung asa dito ang essential, asa dito ang nice to have. That's why when you see in kanang workshops, no, in face-to-face workshops about this, there are a lot of sticky notes and tapes and papers everywhere because these are part of the workshops that you have to identify. And yes, sakit siya sa ulo. Okay. But it's necessary for each startup to really deep dive into all of this because without the value proposition canvas, without identifying your value proposition, again, it's a waste of time. No, it's not gonna scale. It's really essential for your startup to scale. So for the pain relievers, no, describe how your products and services eliminate customers' pains, negative emotions, or undesired costs and situations. For example, nadere sa imong pain relievers relevance helps manage several course requirements. So again, daghan kag load, no, full load ka for the semester, maka-help siya for you to manage. And then there is an easy to follow structure, and then avoids outdated calendar and syllabi. So whatever is going on within the university, you're updated because your calendar is integrated to the entire university. And then it provides a single source of truth. And this is very important. For example, different GCs na napagin mo yung GC kay groupmates mo sa ka-activity. No? So sa inyong GC, nakuha dito na ang deadline is on September 30. Tapos sa kuan di ay, gi-move di ay ang deadline to September 25. So wala na, late na mo. So there should be a single source of truth. No? So how is that essential to your startup that you're trying to build? Is it a nice to have or is it essential? So just to, for those who were not able to listen really or did not understand earlier, we are looking at the customer, at the value proposition canvas with the thought nga natin startup ang ginabuhat. Okay? And atong startup nga ginabuhat is an app for students to manage their different courses, no? So so mo ni siya basig matingalan mo nga unsa ni yung ginapangyayo din, no? So again, with that, so sa imuhang platform nga ginabuhat, so it provides a single source of truth. No, di na mo maglibog kung unsa magitinuod nga deadline ani, no? Avoid confusion about schedules, assignments, and reading. So it gives you an idea kung unsa ang imuhang pinaka-urgent na kuan. So move ta sa customer segment. So first again is the customer jobs. The job importance. So describe what specific customer segment is describe what specific customer segment is trying to get done. No? So for example, like sige, di ba sa ato ang tulo ka persona earlier na si Amy, si Brad, ug katong imong isa ka si Anne, kalimot ko sa ipangan sa iya ganina, pero si Anne tong mong datuon na classmate. So si Amy is the student from I forgot sa tong example kaya but Alae, no? So taga Villanueva di ay. So si Amy is from Villanueva, si Brad is a working student from Gusa, and then si Anne, mo imong classmate niya datoon. So unsa man ilahang problem, no, na gina-try og solve, no? Is it common to them that they need to submit assignments on time? Is it common to them that they need to stay up to date with course requirements? And then, is it necessary for them to plan class and reading schedule? Maglibog na kay, for example, in Central Mindanao University, ang campus dako kayo, and then halos walay bakante in between schedules. Manang-mana sila sa una, mga taga-CMU, dagbagtak. Layo kayo ang baklayon from one building to another. So but if there is an app that helps you manage all those, no? Another value proposition explanation here in the job importance is to feel integrated into the larger university community. So dili bitaw ma-feel bitaw nimo na okay, updated ka sa schedule, tanan-tanan, because it is in there. There's a platform for you to look at kung saan yung mga next updates. And then it allows you to communicate with your faculty, your professors, and also your peers, no? Next up is the gains. So when you have identified the job importance, the gain relevance na po ang imuhang identify. Describe the benefits your customer expects, desires, or would be surprised by. So easy to navigate, easy learning, safe learning environment. So you can actually read from the app na dito ang mga course materials. It helps you be organized and then stay up to date on everything that is going on in the university. Cross-course integration, and of course, integration to the community. So sa imong gain relevance, imo na po siyang i-identify kung unsa to imong mga gain relevance, and then imong i-identify, imo siyang i-sort kung asa dito ang essential, asa dito ang nice to have. And then for the pain, extreme to moderate, no? So yellow kaayo, di ko kaklaro, I need to look at the other screen. So pain describes the negative emotions, undesired costs, and situation risk. No, sa imuhang, I hope that it's clear on your screen. So sorry about the color choice. So kana siya, unsa man nga mga daily nga problems nila ang naa, and then asa dito ang pinaka-extreme, pinaka-problema nila. So is it submission of the requirements or just versus peer-to-peer interaction? So asa ana? Okay? So this is again your business model, no? So business model canvas composed of the different parts here that you have to fill out when identifying your startup. So who are your key partners, activities, resources, and then in value proposition canvas, mo ni siya ng mga segment, no? Mo ni siya na parts ang ginakuha nato to focus more on that, the value proposition and the customer segment. So the business model is another animal on its own, no? It will, in hackathons, this is only explained in an hour, and then tagaan mo time to identify, no? But it's another animal in itself, no? So when I did my own startup, it took me napaka sa peak sa imo ang excitement ba, dali ra man ni siya fill out ang business model canvas kay daghan man kay kag aspirations, daghan man kay kag kani akong gusto i-solve, kani kanang nice kaayo ni siya nga feature. But then when you validate all those aspirations in your business model, diha na dayon maginahin na dayon ang kasakit. In balik ta mo ra siya og relasyon. Kay ba, nindot kayo pagsugod kay excited kayo mo sa nga tanan sa inyong relationship nga bag-o, ana. Tapos in the long run, di ay kanang daghan day kitog negatives mo nang ay jud mo patakag tuplok og pagdali, no? Yung paghimo sa mo og BMC daan og pag-identify sa mo sa inyong value proposition before mo magunahon og sulod og relasyon. Pero it's like that. Okay, so again, I will share this kanang template with you so you can work on it as well. I do believe that at the end of the probably school year, maybe next year. So this is again another topic in itself, the business model. Okay, so the customer value canvas, you also have something like this, no? So list your product and services. And then unsay mong gain creators, and then unsay mohang pain relievers, and then sa customer side. So again, this is another template that you can use. So ayaw kayo ka like pag overthink sa daghan kay nga graph na imong nakita today. It depends on which one fits for you. So these are different methods of identifying your value proposition. So it's different. Like if you have a different customer segment and whatever template works for you. So lahi siya. But the most important part is you have to identify your products and services, your gain creators, your pain relievers, and sa customer segment din nimo, you have to identify kung unsa ang customer jobs, the gains and the pains of the customers. Okay? So if you're still listening, I think we lost like 1/4 of the class in Zoom. I know it's very challenging. Maybe in some places now, nagaulan na. So if you're still with me, please type in 105 on the chat. Nangandaw na to, bayon sa iingon ni Ma'am Bing ay type. Okay. Thank you so much for staying with me, guys. Okay, so we're towards the last part of the lecture. I hope na napamoy energy to continue listening. So these are some statements, no? So this is the fun part. Creating value proposition statement or templates. Ang uban nga nag-type og 105, wala gud sila kabalo nga nag-type sila 105, but since other people are typing 105, so nag-type na po sila 105. Anyways, okay. So creating a value proposition statement and these templates that you can use in identifying your value proposition. No, so these are steps and examples on how to write a unique value proposition statement. First is to gather voice of customer copy, no? So how would your target customers describe your product? So dili siya pwede na ikaw lang, your assumptions on how the customer would react, no? So dili siya pwede na inana. How do they describe your company? Unsa ilang ka feel when they hear about your company? Why do they choose to associate with your brand? So for example, the closest example that I can really think of is angkas. So lahi ang, di ba, if you remember, I don't know if you're fond of kanang monitoring these things. Pero sa una, iban manggod na sila sa LTFRB because franchise issues and ana. So grabe ang commotion ato, grabe ang kuan sa mga tao to put angkas back in the map to let them operate again, especially in the Greater Manila area, because it really did help people in their day-to-day lives, no? Ilang issue sa traffic, no? Makaapa sila sa ilang mga kay motor, mulusot-lusot. Pero gikuan na sila before sa LTFRB. So na siya nahitabo na kanang customer advocacy, no? So dayon si customer na dayon ang nahimong, aside na dili na lang siya basta-basta na customer ni Angkas, they became advocates of the brand because they have so much belief in the brand, they would definitely support it for free. Ana, so marketing is kind of resolved in that area because we don't really need to hard sell the product. Di na nila kailangan i-convince ang mga tao to subscribe, to use the app because the value is already set, no? So that's also why in everything that I do or that I try to do, and because I'm a huge fan of social enterprises as well. And what my mentor said before, so my client in my freelancing journey, so he's from Orange County, California. The way he taught me how to start my own business and how to think of, ideation. I didn't even know that I was already doing ideation at that time. So he just encouraged me to get up and get started. But the thing that he mentioned really is that if you offer value first, you don't have to hard sell the product. Kay di na siya lisod ibaligya because people already will understand na okay na siya benefit for them. And how to do this, no? Interview your customers or send out a survey. Although in a greater spectrum of things or spectra of things, surveys are definitely good, but dili tanan bitaw, dili siya all encompassing in a sense na di mo ganahan mag-answer og survey kung wala benefit, diba? So that's why naga-exist ang mga freemium, no? Even in Facebook, the way they conduct kanang surveys kay please answer the following questions. It will only take you less than 5 minutes. And even big brands use that because they know that surveys are not priority, not a huge priority of kanang customers, no? Okay, so your visitors pay attention to common words, but surveys will let you gather data. So I'm not saying pod na don't do surveys because people will not do surveys. Maybe try to incentivize na lang your target audience as you do your survey. And then emphasize clarity before creativity. So I know when delivering a message, we always strive to be creative in delivering it, but dapat clear ang imuhang message, no? Ayaw paggamit og mga kanang verbose and kuan nga mga words that are not needed, diba? So your value proposition statement should be relatively short, 2 to 3 short sentences maximum. So every word should improve clarity or make your main selling point more compelling. So when evaluating your draft, ensure that it answers the following questions. What product are you selling? Who should buy your product? How will buying your product improve the visitor of her life? And why should the visitor buy from you and not your competitor? And when will the value be delivered? So dapat clear na siya. And then focus on the benefits, not the hype. Because this is where startups also fail. Because no, kay ang hype mo ilang i-focus. In the long run, they only have single purchase or they will not be able to retain their customers. So single purchase lang, wala yun. So the free trial lang ang ilahang gi-avail, wala na dayon. So wala siya return sa imuha. So if you need to use hype, no, on the screen you'll see, it's a sign that your value proposition is not well defined. So as I have said earlier, if you're offering value first, di na kailangan mag-hard sell. Okay. So here are some value proposition exercise. I leave it to your professor to maybe use this or do this as an assignment if you already have, because this is just supposed to be an overview. So if you have like startup teams in the future, so you can use this value proposition exercise. You just have to answer this statement. So our product is yada yada, helps yada yada, who want to yada yada, buy, and unlike. So it's doing it's based on the value proposition canvas that you can create into your value proposition statement. Okay, and then another one is the value proposition statement. So who is it for? And then statement of the need of opportunity. So the target customers, and then the who is the statement of the need of opportunity, and then your product and service or name, and the product or category, and then statement of benefit. So you can also use this method in crafting your value proposition statement. Another template is for the high concept pitch. So single sentence na siya, it's very short. So the blank, that is your proven industry example, is for blank. No? So very short, but it should encompass your high concept pitch, which contains your proven industry example and for who it is, and if it's a new domain. Okay, and we also have the XYZ value proposition statement. So we help, that's your X, dili imong X imong gibiyaan or namiya nimo, do blank by doing blank. So this is Steve Blank's XYZ, no? So we help X do Y by doing Z. So that's the XYZ value proposition statement. So and then we also have Clay Christensen's jobs to be done. So that's your action verb, and then object of action, and then your contextual identifier. So that's your action plus your contextual identifier. So for example, manage personal finance at home. So it's just one single sentence, but murag maka-entice na siya to your potential audience nga, okay, how in Anna. So we also have the CPS, the customer problem solution value proposition statement. So first is your customer, who your customer is, and the problem that you're trying to solve, and what is your solution to the problem. Okay. So you answer these three questions, and then you have your value proposition statement using the CPS. We also have the elevator ride. So we also call this the elevator pitch. So it just answers three questions: what, how, and why. So what is it? It's the what is the statement of the need of opportunity, and then the how, it can state your product and service name, and then your product category. So why, no? So free, easy to use online, platform, and to manage your money. Ana. So napoy value positioning. So why, what, who. So the why, superlative, why choose this product, and what is the product, and who should choose this product? So it's just answering those three questions. And then there's another one that's very short and sweet. No, we help businesses to, and then you insert your technical and business or personal value. So we help what? Anara. So short and sweet. It's just, so you can use that as your value proposition statement. You also can use a value proposition statement that uses connecting values lang with technical value. We help businesses do, and then you insert your value, your business value, do this by the technical value. Now, it is important to note na the way we deliver these messages, it depends on who are we talking to. So if you're talking to a technical person, you should always insert the technical value in there. Versus when you're talking to an end user and a tech savvy, the messaging should be different. That's why there are different value proposition statement templates, because there's no cookie cutter approach into delivering your value proposition statement to your customers. Okay, so you can also connect the technical value to business value. Like we help businesses to blank, and this often lead to the business value. You can also connect the product with value. So we provide yada yada, and this helps businesses to yada yada. Okay, so there is also Geoff Moore's value positioning statement. So for insert your target customer, who, what do they need, and then your product and services, and then you insert the product category, and then the statement of benefit. And then there's also Venture Hacks high concept pitch. So proven industry example. So like in my startup before, so we kind of called it the Grab for nurses, because it's a booking platform for nurses. Okay, so there's so much example, and these are information that is readily available online. So daghan jud kayo resources online, and I will also share a PDF file for this. And in the interest of time, I'd like to share with you some of the programs in Region 10 and in the ICT Region 10 for startups. So one of the targets is really for students, so to encourage students to innovate. But before I proceed to the next slide, I'd like to see if there are questions first. Okay. And if you are watching or rewatching the live broadcast on Facebook because you were not able to attend today for its entirety, you may add your comments and questions on the chat, and I'll try to respond to it, like, whenever I can. But yeah, please do ask your questions, and then at the end of the slide, I'll also provide my details. So seems that there are no questions in Zoom. I think I have consumed like over an hour of your time today. So these are the application forms for Region 10 student startup teams. If you have a startup idea, because even if it's in ideation stage, it is accepted in the Philippine Startup Challenge 8. So this is the 8th run. So this is a project of DICT under the ICT Industry Development Bureau, under the Digital Startup Development and Acceleration Program. So yearly, natay regional competition for startups. So this time we are only accepting students, but you have to have a mentor sa inyong team. No, so you can sign up using the QR codes on the screen that you find, and also let me just type the registration. Oops. Let me just put the links on the chat so you can click on them. Give me 1 minute. 3 seconds na bitaw. Okay, so those are the links, no? So for mentor and for students. So one mentor per student team. So a team can be composed of 3 to 5 um, team members or more. Okay, and then next up is also the Step Up program for Northern Mindanao. So Step Up is Startup Tailored Empowerment and People Focused Upskilling Project. This is an acceleration program. So if you know someone with a startup, no, that needs help in identifying their or validating their business idea, or crafting a better business model, and then if they're in the stage na kailangan nilang assistance on investments, in identifying if they are investor ready, if they need help in startup legal, so they can enroll in the Step Up program for Northern Mindanao. So we will only accept 10 startups for the Step Up program, and then it's going to be a series of trainings for a couple of sessions. So we're targeting to launch this very soon, and let even the faculty members know if you have startup ideas that you think are scalable, and if you're working on a startup, and you need help in for example, how to write a proposal, how to apply for grants, how to kanang craft a better finance for your startup or if you need assistance in registration. So it's a series of trainings, and those are part of the topics that will be tackled in the acceleration program. So this is the call for tech startups. So it's going to have business diagnostics, there will be master classes, there will be mentoring and portfolio management, some technical assistance, and then some learning labs. And of course, your innovation showcase. So who are eligible to apply to this? No? So these are open to early stage or growth stage startups with proof of concept or prototype, lean experiment, and initial market validation. So startups with founders based in Region 10. So Bukidnon, Camiguin, Misamis Occidental, Misamis Oriental, and Lanao del Norte. And this is with special consideration to underrepresented entrepreneurs or women-led startups are highly encouraged to apply. So I think that's it for me. Again, this has been Keren. Thank you very much. You may reach out to me, connect with LinkedIn. You can see my email on the screen, and then you can also say hi via Facebook. So that's it for me, and thank you so much for your time. Hope to see applicants for the Philippine Startup Challenge for students and the Step Up program for professionals and student founders as well. Thank you.
Okay, there you have it. Thank you, Miss Karen, for that informative lecture for this afternoon. May I call on with the center to present our certificate of appreciation? Miss Jai?
Okay.
Sir Jugs?
Yeah. So I will just would like to thank in behalf of the Center for Entrepreneurship, we would like to thank Ma'am Karen for that very wonderful and lengthy, in-depth, and very colorful, full of insights lecture on the value proposition canvas. And I think truly our students have grasped a lot of concepts that are new to them. Even me, there are concepts that I've learned that are quite new and quite insightful. And also our faculty has, I think, also learned a lot in this afternoon. So again, in behalf of the Center for Entrepreneurship and also the University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines, our Chancellor and President, we thank you for the valuable time that you have given to us. And right now, we're going to present your certificate of appreciation to our speaker, Ms. Keren Hapuch. So Mike, can you present the certificate?
A certificate of appreciation is presented to Miss Keren Hapuch A. Lacadin, our resource speakers for today's afternoon, for imparting her knowledge and expertise in the field of value proposition canvas during the lecture series at Day 1 on September 28, 2023 via Zoom. Her discussion has greatly helped the participants to understand value proposition canvas in the field of entrepreneurship. Given this 28th day of September, year 2023, signed Engineer Johannes Armando D. Pasqua, Head of Center for Entrepreneurship and Technology. Signed Attorney Jonel O. Albina, Chancellor of USTP CDO. Ma'am, thank you. Okay. Okay, by the way, for our trailblazers, don't forget to fill out the evaluation form. This evaluation form serves as your attendance. Then don't forget stay tuned for the CET FB page for more updates and more lecture series. Ma'am, Miss Karen, thank you for your wonderful lecture this afternoon.
Salamat, good sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.